Good morning, friends. How are you? I hope you all are well. It's been hectically crazy. I wanted to come into the garden to check things out. You are going to be seeing my end of May, Memorial Day weekend, it might have been that Friday, garden video. So I figured I would take a quick look around out here and see how things look. Can't stay out here too long. I don't know if you could see. Let me try to show you. Can you see the skies? Or maybe over there. It's really smoky here from supposedly the Canadian wildfires. I walked out the door last night. It literally smelled like somebody was burning something in like one property over. Cucumbers are doing good. It's starting to climb up the trellis. These are getting bigger. I planted another seed there. That's what that's about. Looking good. Beans are all looking like they're all filled in. I think how I'm going to do these garden videos, it's going to have to be in the morning because it'll get too chaotic here. Once a week I used to do like a garden tour, but this isn't really like a big garden. My garden, I had a lot planted. So the beans are looking good. I had to plant multiple beans multiple different times, but they're up. Usually when something's severed, it's 99% of the time a slug. Little sunflowers I planted are getting bigger. So it's that one there. I left this area empty so I can actually walk in here. This is looking good. I put this over top of an eggplant that was getting all chewed up to give it like a break. Country Road Cure. See my eggplants? They have these little holes in it. It's usually like flea beetles. You can check the underneath. They do have marigolds over here. Let me see. You just check behind it. You could use some soap and water. Or plant some beneficial flowers near it so it kind of deters them, but it's always a given when it comes to eggplants to get, you know, some holes, but the plant will 99% of the time still produce eggplants. If the holes become too much, soap and water. But that also could be like a slug that's chewing on mine. Country Road Cure is in my live, which was awesome. Haven't seen them in a while. Anthony and Roxanne. And this has a chew there too. So I still am completely convinced that I'm getting slugs chewing my plants still. But sometimes like this is a little bit bigger even for my liking. Little flea beetles don't usually leave that big of a hole. Let me see. You check the underneath, like there's these little black specks. Just wipe them off, kill them. I'm not really sure, but it's gotta come out and do an inspection in the morning. So anyway, yeah, look at the beautiful bloom on the eggplant. I do have a non-toxic, chemical-free bug recipe that I use, but only if it's really, really bad and really necessary because, you know, you got to take the time out and use a lot of ingredients. It's a lot of onions, garlic, like cayenne pepper, red chili flakes, Dawn dish soap. I don't know. I have to rethink of it in my head, and then you boil it, strain it, put it in a spritzer bottle, and then you can spray your plant leaves. But if I have time, I will get to that. So I'm just out here inspecting and giving you somewhat of a garden tour. This leaf does not look good, so let's remove it. This is the plant that was growing kind of crooked anyway. So if you see bad leaves, take the leaves off. Something Charles Dowding always said, if you leave leaves laying on the ground, like from cabbages or broccoli, you're just enticing slugs to come into the garden. But the peppers are looking good. Let's see. What do we have here? sure. It's a weed. It's an awfully big weed. I have no idea what that is. Look at all the buds. So yeah, that one's still a little small because I had a tray of like my peppers that decided to germinate. So a lot went into the green stalk. But like I said, today you're seeing Memorial Weekend, like that Friday's garden tour, end of May. Yeah, this has got to be some form of a weed. It's not a sunflower. I would not have planted one inside there. Anyway, and just was extremely busy and some tests to do for why I didn't post yesterday. So celery's looking good. Got to do a little bit of weeding, nothing major, and the beans are finally looking pretty good. That was a struggle because slugs or whatever were just eating the tops right off. But I try to be careful while I'm walking. So I did a video. It's not posted yet, but you'll see it, I guess, before you see this, of me pruning all my basil. That was pretty big. And look at it already. It's already getting full on the side. So stay tuned for that video where I show you how to prune your basil. Tomatoes are going to have to be untied and tied up the pole a little bit better. Same with that. They're getting really, really big. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I can't wait for the broccoli to do its thing so I can get it away from the peppers and the tomatoes because it's not a good companion plant. So these are getting really big. These are Romas. Then I am single staking up this pole. I will have to retie that. I see a tomato right there, little baby tomato. Can you see that? Of course not on the tripod. Right there. Yeah, so tomatoes are looking pretty good. A lot of flowering. They're gonna need a lot of tying up for sure, but overall looking good. So here is this broccoli that I'm waiting for. It's finally doing a little head. That one's a little bit bigger. Some are small and some are starting to get a head. Oh, let me check this out. I'm gonna have to start tying up the cauliflower. There is a cauliflower. I didn't see that. That wasn't there. Memorial Weekend. So I'll take string and tie that around. And there's cauliflower in there. Oh, well, that's good. All right, so broccoli's starting to do something. Hopefully it doesn't bolt. Like that one there doesn't look like it's going to be a huge head, but pretty soon this will be able to come out. And I could stop talking about it being not great companion plant for your peppers and tomatoes. And then there's some cauliflower heads that are starting. So if you're in heat and whatnot, tie some string around it. It keeps the snowball cauliflower heads from turning yellow. Onions, Walla Walla onions are getting big, looking pretty good. I saw something chewed. Where was it? See, that's slug damage right there on that cabbage leaf. It's just munching it. This is quicker cabbage, red acre cabbage. My longer cabbage is back there. Some leeks in between. I'm not really worried about it. Whatever leek makes it, great. What doesn't, doesn't. Because, you know, I'm at someone else's house and I have a lot of Walla Walla onions going on. And back there, I planted some type of cabbage seed. It might have been like a red Alaskan type of cabbage, but not really much more of an update other than it looks much greener, much fuller, and starting to get cauliflower heads. Excited about that. And this is almost a decent broccoli head, not quite yet, but if it doesn't get full, you know, at least I would get to it before it bolts. So, cauliflower, gotta tile them up. This is doing good. Some of the peppers are a little bit little still, and some are bigger. That's okay, because, you know, peppers love to be close together, like planted very close to each other. And they love the heat. So once that heat really kicks in here, they'll sprout up. Eggplant's doing pretty good, size-wise, for this time, I guess. These two are still kind of on the tiny side. And this pepper is a shishito, and that's not looking good at all. And let me pluck this out while I'm in here. But yeah, this is crazy with these fires. It makes it, I don't know, it's a little spooky, and it's affecting the air quality for sure. I just saw it on my weather app about the air quality today, so I figured I would come out here and show you things that are going on. So this looks green and lush all back here, and things are doing what they're doing. If you notice with my broccoli, I take any of the lower leaves that are touching the ground right off to not encourage any bugs or slugs. But looking good. Celery loves water, so you constantly have to water celery, and I have, so it's about average for this time of year. Which this is, let me see, June the 5th, I think, or the 7th. So I kind of fell behind the posting. Yep. Something's biting my eggplants. I do not appreciate that. I love my eggplants, but look at the beautiful bloom. You know, you can only do as much as you can do. That could be anything that took that big of a chomper out. So yeah, you're going to see my pruning of my basil video. And I really have to set the time aside. Just have a lot going on to do. Plus I had some phone problems for like 2 full days and nights. But I do have to get out here, and I have to retie these up differently now because they're getting bigger. And this pole actually looks like maybe when Thomas watered, he may have knocked that pole. I'll have to push that in better later. Zucchini. You can see zucchini on there. There was one zucchini. It didn't take, obviously. But I was hoping. Look at how big the sunflower got, and the borage is looking good. So I do have some flowers in here for the bees, butterflies, so it can pollinate the zucchini. And then I did a transplant, you know, from the bucket. I took out, I think, 2. One I put in the ground, which, of course, when you transplant something like that doesn't like to be transplanted, it will look limpy for a couple days, but it's fine. I transplanted this one into here from out of that bucket. I was telling you I was having a problem getting zucchini to germinate. So I used that bucket to grow 3 different types of zucchini, and then I was taking it out and transplanting. I finally got to that. I put this one in here, and then right there in that middle, doesn't look all that great yet, but and something was chewed off, which is most likely the dogs. I see a kohlrabi over there chewed up. Anyway, let me see. There's another zucchini right there. Zucchini blooms. We're getting zucchinis coming on. Some might work out, you know, because you get a lot of male flowers first before you get female flowers. So that one I transplanted. That went through a shock. That's doing pretty good. That one over there in the middle, still looking pretty bad, but it will improve a couple more days. And that's from digging it out of that pot. And my seeds didn't come up yet for that. I don't know, don't ask. I dropped a couple more cucumber seeds in case, God forbid, he's watering too much. You should water your cucumber plants down at the root Same with your zucchini. Don't wet the actual plant. It's not good for it. And same for your tomatoes. It took a hot minute for sure, well over a week, for this mammoth basil to come up. But there is some, so I'm happy about that. And then, yeah, all these are doing pretty good. I pruned them, but I am seeing some bites over here too. I don't know. In ground, I mean, I always did in ground, and then once I got that the opportunity like to do in beds, I kind of like doing in beds better. I feel like you get less slugs, especially if your beds are higher up off the ground. That's just an observation. Still a little bit small, that tomato there, but that's okay. Hopefully it grows soon because these two will be bigger than that one. But anyway, nasturtium's growing in with the zucchini, looking pretty good. You're seeing this as I'm seeing it. And I see bugs on the sunflower plant, which if you know, you know. Let's see what that is. I'm not sure. And there's an ant. Okay, so when you plant sunflowers, sometimes it can attract bugs. That's a good thing. It'll go to there instead of going to there is the objective. Oh, the mulch bag is still sitting there because I wasn't sure about mulching my onions yet, so that's that. But this is what the inside of the garden's looking like. It's getting full, green, and lush looking. So that's that. Now let's go see the damage that most likely this dog did on a kohlrabi. Because there's like 2 already missing. And keep walking over here. Yeah, see, I'm just going to pull this out. Bit it. I'll feed it to the chickens. No big deal. So now there will only be 3 kohlrabis left. And I know it's the dogs because I have to keep planting sunflowers because they're walking. Well, she does anyway. And then I put, I think it was red, like an Alaskan cabbage seeds. A couple right in the middle here. I think 2 or 3. Not up yet. But I will give that to the chickens. And maybe today I'll fix the couple sunflowers. We'll see. Zinnias. My OS cross. That's what's left of the zucchini that I was growing. But here's an OS cross. It was just sitting in like a little cup, and I thought, let me just put it in here. And I did, because if not, it was going to die. Zucchini, acorn squash, well, butternut squash, and buttercup squash. Not really sure. Let me get the label. I don't know why this is looking like a zucchini, but anyway, I tried to do meat squash. It's really hard with big dogs. I'm not used to that. I got little dogs, my friends. You get things to germinate or them not knock anything over. There's a zucchini there. Some flowers, some sunflowers. The idea was to have some sunflowers so it, you know, because the garden's right there. This is one that I transplanted. This looks really, really bad. We'll have to see what happens. But I took it out of there, put it in there, and I did one in there, and it's not looking quite as bad as this one. Just an extra area to grow things. My OS cross is looking so good. Let me see. This is gonna be a bigums. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, when you're planting things and you forget, like, oh no, I dropped some seeds. I think I did some mammoth basil in here. But the leaf is gonna probably block it out because look at how big this is getting. That's about it. That's what's going on, my friends. For right now, I have to fix some sunflowers from the dogs. Give that to the chickens. That should be okay. Finish mulching. Everything's done with my green stalks. done, thank God. Just some leftover odd and ends to figure out what I'm going to do with it, where I'm going to put it. Definitely got to tie up those tomatoes, but other than that, it's getting a little, I don't know, like heavy to breathe out here right now. From the smoke, you could smell it in the air. I will show you this because I forgot. This is two cherry tomato plants I put in here. One's a husky red, one's like a golden. Let me pick these lower leaves off. It's getting really crowded now, and that's, oh, there's a little tomato. It's getting really crowded now because I forgot that I had a baby tomato plant. I just wanted it, hey, I just wanted it to go somewhere. Look, I put it in there so it wouldn't die. Forgot to take it out. Right there is one. Right here is two. This one's smaller. And then I put some lettuce in here for the chickens. Well, actually, I had two plants and I didn't want them to die. And this pot wasn't as full as it is now. And I put lettuce in there. So, I don't know. I'm going to make this awfully crowded. So, yeah, yellow sun gold and a husky cherry red is in here. In a tomato cage, which I haven't really been out here. So, like this branch here should be underneath of this. Some cosmos, weeds, of course. The dog has walked through this multiple times. That's the frustrating part. Like, they're not doing anything. Jean or Thomas, I'm the one that's doing the gardening, and I don't know, they just don't correct them right. Especially the one, she's very mischievous, but I must have planted in here, I think, like 10 times. So, that's that. Jean's horseradish is starting to get chewed up. I could see some holes on there. You saw that I harvested a bunch of lemon balm and cut it. Look at it. It's already starting to grow back. That's what it'll do. There's the chamomile thyme that's flowering. It's fine. See, she doesn't come out here and take care of this plant at all. And these two leaves are horrible. Bee balm. That lemon balm is coming back. And then this is that Thai basil that came from out of my arrow garden, which I am just gonna take my finger and pick off some of these. I mainly did this not to eat it. I mainly did this because pollinators love this type of basil. So, at least that's my experience. So I wanted to draw some pollinators into the garden. Wasn't sure, like, I was putting sunflowers in the garden yet or anything like that. So I took this from my arrow garden and put it out here. And a little baby one, Thai basil, pretty sure. And then there is a sunflower right there. And a leek. The cabbage is getting pretty big. I think this whole row of leeks is probably doing pretty good. May have lost one or two. And may have lost one or two leeks on that backside. But not too bad. Onions are doing good. Oops. Almost lost you. And there's more mint. So yeah. Nasturtium. But there's an overview of everything. Like I said, I'm not really too concerned about that kohlrabi. I'll just feed it to the chickens. It's just a point. She constantly gets corrected. She only follows me, though. If I come out here for the chickens, she's out here. If I come out here just in general at all to be in the garden, she comes out here too, which is Thomas's big cocoa. So, I cannot believe I have cauliflower heads starting. I'm going to have to tie them all up. You can also use like a string that you would tie chicken up. Like if you're going to do oven roasted chicken or like a stuffed chicken twine, and tie them up that way. It doesn't have to be rubber bands. I mean, that's what I'm going to use. I have some white string. They're doing all this construction around here. It's embarrassing. I think there's nothing I could do about it. I'm at somebody else's house, and whatever they decide to leave in this area, they leave in this area. I have tomato plant, a couple cucumbers, zucchinis, don't remember. So a few things are in here, a few things are going to end up dying. And this is that basil finally germinated. I think I'm going for a lot of basil this year. Calendula. Let me see. Oh, this type of string. This is what I'm going to use. I'll put it up here to finish drying off. This is what I use for tying up my tomato plants, and this is what I will use to take the leaves and cover up the cauliflower. So if you're not sure how to do that, maybe I'll do a video on it. It prevents the whitehead from turning yellow from the sun, but that won't be today, maybe tomorrow. And that's it, my friends. That's what's going on. Quickie little, I guess, garden tour. And Debbie's little hot cherry pepper plant. This one is still hanging on right there. We'll have to see what happens. I have one pepper plant left. So I will be going around today dealing with trays and putting trays away. And that tray over there, I definitely have to retransplant a few sunflower plants. That's on the top of my list. And let me show you. This is my salad bar. I did a harvest on lettuce. You'll see that video. Like a cut and grow again. Bingo. It's already growing back. This is not the one I can spin because I'm using the wheels for my new one. But I chopped a lot of this and I put beans in here and they're coming up, just bush beans. And I will have to cut this. I did take some arugula. It was for my salad. I see I chopped in here, that's coming back. And I chopped that one. But I didn't chop it all. If I'm concerned about this bolting or going to seed, I will yank it all out and it will become chicken food for my chickens. I think he's watering a little bit too much because even like my flower heads, I'm going to have to deadhead and pick all these off. He's so, like my towers, he's watered quite a few times. Now here's the spinach that's going to seed. I will take this out and give this to the chickens. There's a sunflower in here. So yeah, overall, this is still doing good. If you know, I took this and put it back here where the fire pit is because it's shadier back here. And we're getting cooler temps, so, I mean, you know, it's what it is. But the chickens are going to love some of these lettuces because can't go through it all. If I lived near Debbie still, I'd be giving her a bunch of lettuce. Love you, Deb. And here is my cosmos. They're getting super duper tall, looking really good. And that sunflower's doing good. But I think there's like 2 in this line I have to fix today. And this looks like a little baby tomato plant. So like things like this, like these trays, I have to clean these up today. And this was all purple. I'm going to cut this all with scissors. These were all purple, beautiful. It's a perennial. Look at the flowers on it now. I don't know, it's from the heat and the way that he's watering too much. All the blooms are gone. I'm going to cut the stems down and see if it comes back. So yeah, that's all I got for you today, my friends. As far as the garden is concerned, these cosmos look amazing. I try to go in here and make sure there's no weeds. And I had a blue Hubbard squash right here. It was doing perfectly fine. Something is definitely chewing on it. And the other blue Hubbard squash is over there so that the bad bugs go to the blue Hubbard squash. So this is new. And again, just because of what I experienced and what I'm used to seeing, it's most likely the dog. So I'll have to trim that up and hope that that stays alive. Because I only planted 2. I dug it up from over at the garden, well, over that section. And I planted in 2 Hubbard squashes so that the bad bugs go to it. They're attracted to it and they'll leave like the zucchinis and that type of stuff alone. So just like odds and ends to get done today. I'm going to cut all the blooms off of this. Get done with all the trays, sunflowers, and these trays over here. plant them, do something with them. And as far as the gardens, well, I have to definitely deal with that and get that other tomato out, because that's too much going on in that one pot. That was up there because it's cherry tomatoes, but I moved it over to here. So there's the garden again. And now I'm just going to walk over to here. I don't really want to do along this one. Mischievous Coco right there. Jeans, I think she's going to plant flowers. I don't know. This is the one I did with you all. And it's looking fantastic. Very quickly. Here's the gazinias coming up. Don't know what I planted right there, but it's not up yet. But overall, this is looking really good. Those teeny peppers are getting much bigger. And yes, I do spin it. Nothing's getting blocked, but hello. Can we talk? Look at this amazing thing. Looking amazing. I will do an inspection today on the underneath of the leaves. But definitely, I told them yesterday, you can't, like, I watered these at 11 o'clock, sometime yesterday, and he was already watering them again last night. So it's these little black dots that are on my beans, on the underneath the leaves. So nothing major, just take your finger and rub them off, but keep your eye on it. But this is looking good. I think I will take this leaf off. So not too bad, even though I saw either the Mexican bean beetle or it was the harlequin. Harlequin will make your leaves look like skeletons. So I will come out here later after I'm done having some coffee and clean this up a little bit and inspect everything. But just wanted to give you a quickie little look over. And finally, Italian striped zucchini. Finally, it only took forever. So yeah, everything in here is looking pretty good. Just having a little bit of pest issues when it comes to the beans. Little black dots, and that's that. So, like I said, I will come out later and I will tend to the bean plants, look everything over. This tomato plant's great. I love it. I love the look of it. Yes, we'll have to wait to see the production of what it gives me or what it does. But it's my first year of trying to do all real food, if you know what I mean. And yeah, why not get a ton? But if you can get some, that's better than none. That's the way I look at it. So just stay tuned, bring you along throughout the season and show you this. But it's doing glorious, absolutely glorious. And that's it for me, my friends. I will catch you on the next video. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure your notification bell is on. And I hope you enjoyed the garden tour and the green stalk tours. And I will talk to you soon. All right, friends. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.